Now we will discuss the second topic, that is with regard to institutions of eminence. This was in news. Recently it was also in news because it has appointed a new committee under the chairmanship of N. Gopalaswamy, that is to select the institution for institutions of eminence. So we will discuss what is all about the institutions of eminence. Then we will discuss the questions. So institutions of eminence, why is it is important? If you look at the higher education, this is specifically for the higher education institutions or improving the quality of higher education institutions. If you take the higher education institutions in India, no institutions are ranked the 100th of international institution, the best 100 international institution. That is one of the problems or one of the issue we are facing in the higher education institution. No institutions in India are not ensuring the standard of international, or that is not similar to the international standard. So we should have a world class teaching and research in our higher education institution. So now we are going to choose some of the institutions, and they are called institutions of eminence, and they are going to be they are going to become the world class teaching and world class research institutions in India. So the purpose of this institution eminence is to provide a special regulatory architecture for these selected few higher education institutions that to become a world class teaching and research institution, and it is going to select around 20 institutions, both from the public sector as well as the private sector, the public sector including 10 and the private sector 10 institutions. So that means it is going to select 20 institutions across the country, and they are going to be the institutions of eminence, that is to become a world class teaching and research institutions. Recently the government appointed a new committee under the chairmanship of N. Gopalaswamy, and they are going to select this 20 institutions. So this committee will choose the 20 institutions, and these institutions also have the greater autonomy to start new courses, set fees, admit foreign students as well as the hire foreign faculties in that institution, and also collaboration with the foreign universities, that is without any approval of the government. Without asking any approval of the government, they have full autonomy to run this institution. That is also one of the problem we are understood, that is deteriorating the quality of higher education institution, because they do not have any independence in decision of their academic discipline or academic curriculums, or recruiting the teachers and faculty, or collaboration with the foreign institutions. So it is ensuring a greater autonomy for these institutions of eminence. The target or the purpose is to become this institution a world class teaching and research institutions. So one thing we need to remember about this initiative is that it is for higher education institutions, and it is for to improve the quality of higher education institutions, to become world class teaching and research institutions, and it is going to select 20 institutions across the country, both from the public and the private sector. So that is all about the institution of eminence. Now we will discuss the questions related to institutions of eminence. The question was, with reference to institutions of eminence, consider the following statement. So this is a 3 statement type question. I am going through all these statements. So statement 1, it is a program to provide a special regulatory architecture for selected few higher education institutions to become world class teaching and research institution. Yes, we know that it is to improve higher education institution to become world class teaching and research institutions, and they are the institutions of eminence, and they will be provide a special regulatory architecture. So it is going to select few institutions, and they are going to become the world class teaching and research institutions. So first statement is correct. So that is the purpose of the institution of eminence. So if first statement is correct, we can eliminate option B, which is not mentioned in the correct statement. Then second statement, it will be going to select 100 institutions across the country, both from public sector and private sector. We know that it is only going to select 20 institutions, not 100 institutions, a list of 100 institutions. Yes, it is both from the public sector and the private sector, but it is not going to select the list of 100 institutions. So it is only going to select 20 institutions. That is why the second statement is wrong. So if second statement is wrong, we can eliminate option D, because it is wrongly mentioned the 2. Then statement 3, that is institute of eminence will have a greater autonomy to start new courses, set fees, admit foreign students, hire foreign faculty, and collaborate with the foreign education institution without seeking the government approval. That is also true, because they can have a greater autonomy in all these factors, and they do not require to have a government approval for this. So third statement is also correct. So the answer is option C, that is 1 and 3 only.